Hi there everyone, my name's Dave West. I hope you're all doing well. So welcome back to the ultimate video test. Today I'm checking out the Oppo Find X5. Now this is the standard auto mode from the front facing camera, and this is a 32 megapixel fixed focus camera, and as I said, it records video at up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now in the standard auto mode it doesn't have any image stabilization, which is a little bit bizarre, but all is not lost. I will show you in a moment. Now the general video quality, because it's 1080p, it's not that amazing. I mean, the detail is reasonable on my face, but it really suffers with dynamic range, as you can see here. Given the megapixel count of the sensor, you would expect it to be a little bit better than this, but a lot of megapixels is not a great camera make, as we've found out over the years. In addition to the standard auto mode, the selfie camera has ultra steady video mode. Now this enables electronic image stabilization, just crops in a little bit more, but it does give you much steadier video. And just checking out the two modes, so you've got the standard auto and then this ultra steady video mode, the quality is pretty much indistinguishable between them, so you may as well just use this option unless you really want a slightly less crop on your image. You can see I've sort of cut my head off a little bit here, just like your granddad used to do when he took photos of the family. But you know, the footage is reasonable, but for the price of the handset I was expecting it to be a little bit better. And again, the dynamic range does really struggle in this mode. You can see it kind of clips up the sky, and the colours to me just look a little bit washed out. But you let me know what you think of this video down in the comments. The one feature I do like from the selfie camera is the portrait video mode. It's probably one of the best that I've seen from a smartphone. It's got a really nice cutout effect, a nice blur in the background, and the video quality is actually really decent. Now the image stabilization is gone again, so you can't have the portrait effect and image stabilization, but it does at least look really decent in my opinion. And you can actually adjust the background blur intensity as well. There's a little slider just before you hit record, but in my opinion the standard default auto mode is the best option. Just getting chased by a wasp, bear with me a second. So that is the portrait video option from the selfie camera. You let me know what you think down in the comments. Alright, so switching around to the rear cameras then. So there's three cameras here. Now you've got this 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. You've got a 50 megapixel wide camera. Both are exactly the same lenses, so they're both Sony IMX766 lenses. The good thing is that the ultra wide camera has a little bit of autofocus built in, which is pretty nifty. It's quite shallow, but it does work, and I can show you on this leaf here. You can see the autofocus is pretty nice. But this configuration of the lens that you're using in the ultra wide obviously gives a much wider field of view. Now you get always on image stabilization, as you can see here. It is really smooth. It's at the expense of a bit of width in the image, I find. So it's not as wide as you get maybe on the Samsung Galaxy or the iPhone. But image quality nonetheless is really decent. So you can record it up to 4K at 60. And this is 4K 30 obviously. But image quality is actually really decent, I think. And compared to its bigger brother, the Oppo Find X5 Pro, just looking at them both side by side, having recorded video on both, I can't really see much of a difference between the two. So if video recording is your bag and you want to save a little bit of money, then you can't really go wrong with the Oppo Find X5. And I think it's doing a really good job of handling the really harsh highlights and reflections you get from the sun in this early afternoon sun glare, because it is really strong at this time of the afternoon. But you can see that even in standard dynamic range, there is a HDR mode, which I will do in a separate video. I think the video does really well indeed. Alright, so this is the wide lens, and as I said, this is a 50 megapixel IMX766 sensor by Sony. Now the reason I've stopped the video and restarted it is because the UI for the cameras is garbage. I don't know why they changed it from the handy little icons that you had on the screen. So with the Oppo Find X3 Pro, you had these little icons on the screen. You had 3 trees, 2 trees, 1 tree. So it was ultra wide, wide, telephoto. But now you've got this slider, which is so unintuitive and fiddly to use. It's just not worth it at all, in my opinion. I just think it's a real step backwards, in my opinion, and it just makes the camera UI really fiddly to use. So you're just better off just stopping and just restarting once you've reselected the lens. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. So that's something I really wanted to just let you know about very quickly. And the characteristics between the two lenses you can see there. So if I just go to the same spot-ish that was just now, you can see that, you know, the sky, the clouds, the way it covers the highlights that are on those leaves there is all handled pretty much the same. So as far as continuity goes, I will just show you. You can see that it's pretty decent, to be honest, and I think Oppo have done a good job of tuning both the cameras to give a very consistent look when you switch between them. And you can see the image stability is also really good. Even if I go for lateral movement, as you can see here, and walk sideways, well, I'm not walking sideways, but the phone is sideways, you can see there that the stabilization is really good and allows you to frame shots like this really easily. And then finishing off with the 2x telephoto camera. So this is a 13 megapixel optical lens, so it can only do up to 2x zoom. So you get a nice focusing effect when you've got sort of close-up subjects here, and you can toggle between the two just by using the on-screen control to just flick the focus between the two. Now you can do up to 20x hybrid zoom, which, as you can see, is a little bit cruddy. It's just a load of smudgy effects where it's trying to maintain detail, and as you can see, the focus is going absolutely crazy. I would say that even 10x zoom isn't that brilliant, as you can see there. But I would say up to 5x optical zoom, which is this, is actually okay. So if you really need to zoom in a little bit closer, you do have that ability. And 5x image, whilst not perfect, is actually okay to look at. When you look at it on a big TV, don't judge me, it doesn't look too good, but on a phone or a tablet it looks absolutely fine, in my opinion. Alright, so finishing off the 30 FPS element of the video test. You get portrait video on the rear lens as well, so I'll turn it around so you can see me and I can show you what it looks like on human faces. So again, this tops out at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and like the front facing camera, it does a really good job of giving you that really nice portrait video effect. It's a shame it's not available at 4K, but that's something that they can work on in later revisions of the Find X series. But for now, I think the video is actually decent enough to use in daylight conditions and looks pretty good at the same time. So there is all of the 30 FPS modes on the Oppo Find X5. If you've got any comments or questions about anything you've seen in the video, then please let me know down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget, if you're new around here, then please do consider subscribing so you don't miss more videos coming like this on the channel very, very soon. But for now, this has been my Oppo Find X5 30 frames per second video test. My name's Dave West, and I'll catch you guys later.